All right, so this is an example similar to problem 3.7.31 on your homework. The question asks, find the slope of the curve. And then it gives you a curve, 6x to the 5th plus 7y to the 4th is equal to 5x plus 4y. And then it says find the slope of this at the point 1, 1. Okay, so finding the slope of a curve, the way that we do that is we find its derivative. And in this case, we are assuming that x or y is a function of x, right? So we have some sort of y of x. And when we find the slope of the curve, we take its derivative, and then we evaluate that at the point. So this is the same as dy dx evaluated at the point 1, 1. Okay, so to find dy dx, we're going to have to do this implicitly, right? Because y and x are not really, there's no real good way of separating those, right? So let's do this implicitly. Remember, we take a derivative of everything with respect to x. So what is that going to give me? Well, here, that's just going to give me, using the power rule, it's going to give me 30 x to the 4th. Now here on this term, this is the tricky part. So I have to do this like a chain rule, right? So first I take the derivative normally. So I use my power rule. I get 28y to the 3rd. And then I have to think of this as a chain rule. So at the end of this, I'm going to get dy dx, right? Whatever that derivative is. And then on the right, what do I get? Well, this is just going to become 5. And then again, I have to apply the chain rule. So 4 times dy dx. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get all these dy dx's on a single side. So I'm going to subtract this over and subtract the 5 over. So what do I have? I have 30 x to the 4th minus 5 is equal to 4 times dy dx minus 28y to the 3rd times dy dx. Now over here on the right, I can factor out the dy dx term, right? So I can pull that out of everything. And then I just have 4 minus 28y to the 3rd. Okay, now lastly, I can divide out by this 4 minus 28y to the 3rd over here, and that should give me dy dx by itself. So dy dx, it's going to be 30x to the 4th minus 5 divided by 4 minus 28y to the 3rd. Okay, so that's my derivative in terms of x and y. And lastly, what I want to do to get the slope at that point is to evaluate this at the point 1, 1. So I take dy dx and I evaluate it at the point 1, 1. That means I'm plugging in 1 for x and plugging in 1 for y. So it becomes 30 minus 5 on top, and on bottom it becomes 4 minus 28. So 30 minus 5, that's 25. 4 minus 28 is negative 24. So that is my slope at the point 1, 1.